To tu będzie po polsku. Jesteśmy w dniu, w którym wszystko może się zmienić.
We are at a day when everything can change, and probably everything will change in terms of Europe's determination in the matter of armaments and the defense industry and readiness for power to take on this challenge that Russia has thrown at the whole world. As I remember, less than a year ago, it was in Katowice, I spoke about the need to immediately create such a strong defense union. It was then that I had more hope than certainty that it would be possible at all. And I also said then that there was no time to lose. The war was in full swing, and yet we had lost a lot of time as Europe. But today, everything has really changed. I am talking about both the Commission's proposal and the determination of all my interlocutors. They confirmed this during the meetings in Paris and London. So since yesterday, I have been talking to many of them, and they are all determined to take up this challenge. There is no doubt that the war in Ukraine, the new approach of the American administration to Europe, and above all, the arms race started by Russia. This must be obvious to everyone. It poses completely new challenges for us, and Europe must take up this challenge, this arms race. And it has to win it. I am convinced that Russia will lose this arms race, just as the Soviet Union lost a similar arms race 40 years ago. And this is also the only method to avoid a conflict on a larger scale. We are not talking only about European money. This proposal of the Commission, also the proposal of the European Investment Bank, is of course the first step. But this is a very important step, because words are finally turning into actions. And nothing will release the member states from the obligation to increase, like Poland, to increase the level of spending on their defense budget. But as I said, Europe is ready for this start for security today. And ready in the sense that we will arm ourselves faster, smarter, more effectively as Europe than Russia. This is not only a sine qua non condition for being safe, but this is something that is really starting to happen before our eyes. So today, in fact, we will have to start this whole process. But as you know, things are already underway. And there is no reason for easy optimism today, that's obvious. The situation is very complicated and difficult, but I am convinced that this is the turning point where Europe understood what responsibility rests on it. Is the Eastern Shield still the most important for us? In fact, what I cared about at this stage, we have already described in the proposals for conclusions. That is, the Eastern Shield, and more broadly, because it is not only about the Eastern Shield is our Polish project, but of course the Swedes, the Baltic states. And today I spoke with the President of Romania. They all want to be part of this great project, that is, the protection of the European eastern border, also with the help of European funds. And of course, in the end, when it comes to money, sometimes the states like to swindle each other, and everyone wants as much as possible for themselves. But today I am actually certain, and I can say this before the Council, that the Eastern Shield and the defense of the eastern border of the EU have become a priority that is no longer questioned by anyone. And this also means funds, infrastructure assistance. I will also talk, because this is also a need, not today, but tomorrow for sure, to think about increasing the presence of European NATO troops on the border with Russia and Belarus. Today we talk a lot about security guarantees for Ukraine, but to really give someone a security guarantee, you have to be safe yourself. And that is why the first thing we should do in Europe is to fully secure the European borders, especially with Russia and Belarus, the sea, mainly the Baltic Sea, airspace and cyberspace. These are the things that will affect our security, and then we will also be able to provide better, more effective assistance to Ukraine. A very important thing, I repeat it like a spell, but because I also deeply believe in it, and in Poland, probably here in this matter, everyone has a similar view. The fact that we must take much greater responsibility as Europe for our own security does not mean that we should disregard this need for the closest possible alliance with the United States. Today, America is a slightly more demanding, more difficult partner, but by arming ourselves, we should actually influence the improvement of transatlantic relations. Maintaining NATO and the alliance with the United States must also be our absolute priority, even if the other side does not always give signals that it is interested in this today. We must do our part in this matter and be a very reliable ally for the United States and for all other NATO members. The French proposal is not new. This topic has also come up a few times in conversations with me. That is, the possibility of expanding these possibilities of deterrence with nuclear weapons on the part of France. Of course, this is most definitely worth considering. Everything today, we must coordinate everything well, and the defense capabilities of each European country should become an element of this whole. Europe as a whole is truly capable of winning any financial, economic, and military confrontation with Russia. We are simply stronger. We just had to start believing in it. And today it seems to be happening.
As I just said in Polish, it is not a new proposal, because I've heard about this readiness of France to share their nuclear power with other European partners. We have to treat this proposal seriously, because it must be one of our priorities to coordinate all our capacities in Europe and to build, in fact, one well-coordinated military power. This is what can give us a clear advantage towards Russia. And of course, as always, details matter, but this readiness of France, this is something very promising. 1 year ago, almost 1 year ago, when I said that we need, it was a very clear signal and pretty, strong message to our friends, to our allies, and to our foes, that Europe needs a strong defense union. And I said also then that there's no time to lose. But we lost it. Now everything has changed, and this is, I think, the most important message for today. Really, everything has changed in Europe. I am talking about readiness, about determination. This is something really new, and the awareness that with this new approach of the new American administration vis-à-vis Europe and vis-à-vis Ukraine, vis-à-vis Russia. The war in Ukraine, of course, but also the arms race started by Russia, by Putin's Russia. All this means that Europe must be more and more self-efficient, independent, not from United States, not from our allies, but from the threat of Russia. This is our goal and our highest priority. And I am absolutely sure that Europe, and this is the first step, but the real one, I mean the Commission's proposals, the proposals of our conclusions, this is the first step of this readiness of Europe to start in this arms race. We have no other choice. It's not our choice. But we have to do this. And I'm absolutely sure that Russia will lose this race. Exactly like the Soviet Union 40 years ago, with exactly the same result. And this is the only way how we can effectively save peace. I have no doubt, it's not only my opinion, that Russia is preparing something much more massive than only the aggression against Ukraine. And we have to be aware of this.
Shouldn't Europe have a leading role in engaging in peace negotiations with Ukraine and Russia and not leave
I don't like the speculation about the prestige, who should be the leader. We have to stop the discussion about political leadership. You have to be effective and very coordinated. This is why I really appreciate every attempt, every initiative. President Macron, Prime Minister Starmer, they relatively good contacts with President Trump. This is what we need, and this is what we can use as a common advantage towards Russia today. For me, I don't care, frankly speaking, who is the winner in this. Sometimes Vanity Fair. No, it's not the problem. What we need today is a very intensive coordination, spending money. Frankly speaking, we have, and this is also my mission today, to explain to all of our colleagues that the decision about this 150 billion euros and other proposals, in EIB initiative, etc., is obviously it's not enough. It's a very, very massive step forward, but it's not enough. And the decision about 3% of the national budget when it comes to defense spending, this is something what no one can avoid. Okay, maybe if they are not ready today, but for sure tomorrow. We need much intensive engagement when it comes to financing the national defense budgets. Thank you.